Hey guys, Elite Action Joe Studios presents our Black Ops team. So Logic Blaster had done a really cool set with a male and female operative with a Vespa, and he used the Hasbro G.I. Joe Delta Force uniform for the male figure. And I mentioned to him that I had a whole team that was like my base uniform, and he said I should someday put that up. So I decided today, after some complaints from Jay because it'd be too much camera work, that we'd do it. So here we are. So each of my Black Ops teams are like my main characters in our Joe world. So we're going to go through them real quick, and you can see most of these figures, the base uniform is the Delta Force Hasbro uniform. Now, obviously there's a lot of different components, a lot of different weapons. I used all kinds of things from 21st Century toys from their Ultimate Soldier line. I used some Peacekeeper weapons, Peacekeeper parts, a little bit of Dragon stuff, Hasbro of course. Each and every one of these figures is on the Hasbro super articulated body. The ones that are flocked, some come that way. Like, we'll start here. This is Rayford. He's British. You also might recognize him from our international team. His head is from a newer adventure team set, Hawk River set, but I redid his head onto a super articulated body. I won't break down every piece because it'll take us too long, so we're going to move. This is my one of my favorite figures. His name's Gunny, and he is back at base. He's the gunnery sergeant / drill sergeant, but he's one of my best operatives. Moving this way, this is James Quinn. He's a soldier. His name is actually based on a friend of my wife's, who's an actor. Moving over, Fred. He's my sniper. You can see he's got a very nice sniper rifle there. This is Fred's spotter. His name is Rook. That's his nickname. His real name is actually Cody. Not named after Poplux 4583, but funny that I have a Cody in there, and I'll show you that it was before because I have their dossiers. This gentleman is a soldier. His name is Spencer. And this guy you've seen in a couple videos. He's part of Sasquatch. That's Mick, one of my Australian guys. And like I said, almost all these uniforms are almost all based off of the Delta uniform. Now Jay's going to pull back. I'm going to reset this with the rest of the team. So that's just half the team. So this is the second part of our team. We'll start to the left, Jay's left. Okay, so just recently I was sent a head, you guys might recognize from an unboxing from Adam, and that is Kyle. And you can see that it's the same head. I just have a scar painted on him. So like I said, it's going to come in handy to have an extra Kyle for my next grouping. He is one of my most vicious fighters. He's got a nice Poplux 4583 Tomahawk here. He's my hand-to-hand specialist, scout, recon specialist. He's basically an animal. This is Jeremiah. He is kind of runs alongside of Kyle. They're kind of a team. A lot of scouting, a lot of recon. Slip in behind the enemy lines kind of guys. Moving this way, this is Brian. Brian is actually named after I've mentioned before, my best friend who passed away. He was in the service. He's got two guns. He carries a shotgun. He's got his ammo up here. My friend Brian loved his 12-gauge shotgun, so he's more of a, when the shooting starts, kick-ass powerhouse. This is Mike. Loosely, his name came from my favorite singer of all time, Mike Ness from Social Distortion, and my older brother, Mike. He's a soldier in this unit. This guy's Todd. Todd usually is, he's part of this team, but he's also a espionage and technical specialist. He works with computers a lot and to override security systems and whatnot, hacking and stuff. Right here we have Pierce. He's named after a buddy of mine, Chris Pierce, and he's a soldier in the unit. And then over here I've mentioned that I use Pete tape. This is my friend Pete. He's one of my main soldiers. His nickname is Two Gun Pete because in almost every single version of Pete, whether it's the Black Ops or the ones that I've showed you before that has the pop lock shirt, he always carries at least 2 pistols, often more than 2 pistols. But in this case, he's got 3 suppressed pistols, plus his main firearm. He wears this backwards because it's actually a, I believe, well, I think I told you it was Mark's, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually a Gabriel holster from Lone Ranger, and it doesn't quite fit right with if it's spun around right, so I tried it this way and it's kind of cool. So he cross draws it, and he's got his bullets in the front. So if you want to pan back on that. So like I said, you can see that there's a lot of different equipment. This vest was a Dragon one. I believe this may have been Dragon. A lot of the weapons are different companies. 21st Century. This is one that I sort of made. It's got it's a 21st Century, but I got a scope and a big magazine, a suppressor. I got to get some more goggles because I like to have these guys goggled up. I had some helmets on these guys, but I'm not a big helmet guy. I know that they
need them.
Help, but not when you're this type of covert team. I do have some masks, but until I get a whole set, based on the Call of Duty game, Ghost. I have about 4 of them right now. But now also, I've had this team put together for probably 10 years. I would say, yeah, close to 10 years. And what I did was I went through, and I think I've touched on this before, but I actually did a dossier on each figure. You'll see their names and their specialties and where they're from. Each one. I didn't show her because she's not in this team, but I have a dossier on her. She's actually a specialist in the front office. She kind of helps the commander with all the different things. This gentleman I don't have in this team. He is sort of a jungle survival, zoological guy, scientist, crypto guy, or cryptid guy. There's Cody, or Rook, because he was the newest member of this team. Pete. This is Muriel. She's actually in this team, but I moved her out of the box because she's actually a very rare figure. And to replace her would be almost impossible for me because she's worth about, I don't know, $250 now. I can't even remember the company, but this is Nick T. He is strangely my pilot. And I'm just going to show you the pictures. That's Fred from the first group, my sniper. Grew up in the swamps of New Orleans. That's Mike. He's right there. Pierce, who's right over here. You can see they're from all over, all different places. That's Kyle. And of course, last but not least, my commander. All information classified. So I do make these for every single one of my newer figures that we use in stories and stuff. But this is my favorite team. I always said that for some reason I decided to get rid of my figures. This would be probably the last group to go, except for like my vintage guys, because this is my main core team. And I see what Jay's doing here. I'll do it.
Yeah, there we go. Got the rifle light from Pop Lots 4583.
This is Cody sent me this prototype. It just has a tiny little battery, which I hide behind the holster there, and you can hide it in a vest. But you just push the button and you get the light up. I did a...
Yeah, we talked about that when we got it.
When we got it, I did a video on it. But that... Mike was lucky enough to get the draw on that. I was actually going to give it to Jeremiah because these two will go in behind enemy lines more, but they don't believe in using light. So, but anyways, that's my team. A lot of my guys have some background with the names of people from my life and whatnot, or characters from different things. Jeremiah gets his name from, because he looks like a mountain man. I've shown him before. He reminds me of a mountain man, so I named him after Jeremiah Johnson. You guys are probably familiar with that movie. But so that's my Black Ops team, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought I'd get it up, and again, this is based off almost all these uniforms are the base uniform is almost all the Delta Force figures that I picked up a bunch of. When they were out, and then eventually liked the super articulated bodies better, and I moved some heads around, and so each of these guys, has the super articulated body, so you get more posability. If I'm having a battle scene, you can't do that with some of the classic. You can't get that nice leg squat to squat down or kneel, or the elbow up. So I transferred them all, and the super articulated bodies are not, well, when I was putting this together, they weren't easy to find. They're still kind of not, and now when you do find them, they're a lot more. But I got lucky. I was able to put this whole team together, and this is like my favorite team. And that probably took a while, so I'll leave it at that. So Logic Blaster, this was sort of off of your request, and I hope you enjoyed it. I always say Logic Blaster. His name is actually Scott, but I always call him Logic Blaster because that's what his channel is. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed it. That is an inside look into my main team from my G.I. Joe universe. Our G.I. Joe universe. Jay actually has a subgroup of this team that he has yet to finish. Well, not finish. He's got some of them dressed and completed, and then he had gotten some of the 21st century SWAT uniforms. So he's got several more guys he needs to dress, and then expect to see these guys. And we'll have Jay's going to do a video with his pretty soon, maybe in the next couple weeks, and then expect to see these teams in a lot of action this spring and summer in stop motions and photo stories. Elite Action Joe Studios, out.